Hey, it's me, Joanne Fedler, and I'm sitting in a little cafe this morning, and I'm sitting here with my laptop, and I've come here this morning to try and work on my new book. I have got a book that I've got to write in the next 8-9 months, and I've demarcated Fridays as my writing days. I have successfully procrastinated myself all the way to 9:30, and I have done absolutely nothing. I've spent the last hour trying to get a personal hotspot going here and an internet connection, and that has been unsuccessful. So I give a lot of advice, and I try to inspire a lot of other people all the time to sit down and do their writing and actually get what they need to do done. And here I am showing you what it is like to have a deadline and to know that today my role is to write 1,000 words to get at least one chapter of this book done. And I've already probably wasted at least an hour and a half to 2 good hours of this day. So I wanted to just share today a little bit with you about how it feels to be sitting and working on something that you know you've got to get done, and really just to give you some insight into what it looks like from somebody who is supposed to actually know how this whole gig works. So this is the third in a trilogy of a couple of other books that I've written, and so what has been good about this is that I already know who the characters are in this book. This is a follow-on from Secret Mother's Business and The Reunion. It's about motherhood, and Secret Mother's Business was about mothering small children, a group of women getting together, mothering small children, going away on a weekend, women's friendships. The Reunion was when the women came back together for a reunion when their kids were tweens, and this one is a book about just two mothers who are left in this friend circle, who are now actually going to take their teenage daughters away overseas. The one has his daughter's just been through some terrible trauma. And it's really about, I guess, menopause meets millennials is really the way I've understood the kind of deeper, bigger themes of what I'm dealing with. So these kind of two generations getting together to try and connect with each other. And they both have very different ideas of what connection means. There's not a lot of real communication between the two of them. And the one generation is feeling pretty invisible and irrelevant, and the other generation is feeling pretty disconnected and cynical and kind of really a little bit hopeless about the future in ways that are not really completely articulated but are manifesting in the interactions and in their relationships. So I've got this really great kind of idea, this underpinning of the kind of potential, the conflict that can happen between these two. And of course the mother still wants to really feel like she has got some value to offer to her daughter. She just doesn't know how to do it. And the daughter, of course, doesn't feel like her mother knows anything at all, and so there's not a lot of connection between the two of them. So I'm putting them into this situation. I'm taking them away out of their comfort zone. They're going to go and meet in an overseas country where they literally don't speak the language, and of course that will serve as a good metaphor for the fact that there isn't a good language between the two of them. So when you're writing, what you're always trying to do is you're trying to layer the ideas and offer different interpretations of one idea just in different ways. You can sometimes use objects, you can use situations, you can use landscape, you can use setting in order to illuminate these bigger themes. So that's kind of where I am with this. Something else that I just thought I would put on the table for people who think that when you've already done this many times, you know how to do it, is that I gave the first 20 pages of this book to another writer whom I respect, and she read the first 20 pages and she came back and said to me, I freaking hate your main character. She's narcissistic and she's batshit crazy and completely unlikable. And was that your intention? Which of course was not my intention at all. So it was extremely interesting and quite challenging feedback to get on the first 20 pages of my manuscript, because of course that really is the setup. You really want to your reader to connect with your main character. I gave the same 20 pages to another group of writers, all of whose opinions I really respect, and they came back and said they absolutely love the main character. She's so relatable, she's so anxious and neurotic, but they totally got it, because she's really they understand where she's coming from. So now I'm sitting here with two completely different sets of feedback about my main character. And what I really want to say to you is all of us are going to get feedback that we don't like about our writing, or that could be challenging, and that really the feeling is, I still have got a lot more thinking to do around this. I've still got to do a lot more connecting around this. I've got to really get the emotional pitch of this quite right. And that's really what I'm working on today. I really want to try and find a moment in the beginning where the reader can really connect with her. I definitely don't want it to be unlikable. She's got to be completely likable. A main character should really connect with your reader. There's no reason for a reader to carry on reading something if they just they're thinking, I couldn't care one way or the other what happens to you. I hope your plane does crash, actually. I really want, the book starts with the daughter and the mother on the plane, and the mother says, no, of course you have the window seat, I'll just sit in the middle, where she's kind of menopausal, hot and claustrophobic, but of course she just wants to do something for her daughter. She wants to make sure that her daughter's comfortable, and her daughter's completely, is ungrateful and really certainly not showing her mother that she values the fact that she's given up this main seat. So I want the mother to be really somebody who is the reader can connect with, not too neurotic that one will be eye-rolling and say, seriously, just take a Valium and, chill out. But I also, at the same time, want them to get that feeling that you have as a mother when your child is kind of disappearing into herself, and you don't know what kind of lifeline to throw her. So that's kind of really where I'm sitting, and I'm just trying to get into that headspace of how to write that so that it lands with the reader. Once you get that first pitch of that voice right, the voice of your main character, the voice that you are looking for, it's much easier to build on that foundation. So that's really where I'm at today. So I thought I would just give you some insight into what happens when you're sitting down and trying to make something of your writing on a day. And I've still got my idea that I'm going to try and write 1,000 words today, try and write really one really good scene, good dialogue, good interactions, kind of something that builds on both the character of the daughter and the mother. So whatever you're doing today, I hope that you use your time well, and I will keep updating you on how it's going with this book.